Cool, weird, awesome. Golem thing. Nothing tighter. Alright. That's the way I understand it anyway. I don't know what I do either. You know, over the entrance tells of age and long exposure. In spite of its degradation, the copper door is a heavy, densely forged as a thought. Gravity holds the slabs firmly against the stone. Old markings in the shape of fingers suggesting Griffin Titans once possessed the strength to raise the door. It's difficult to tell from where, if anything else, once controlled the door's opening or closing. You also take note of scour marks at the base of the door, likely evidence of a pry bar used to wedge open. The damage to the stone looks recent. Let's see if I've got this, folks. Let's see if I've got this. Rub your palms together to build up some friction. Warming your fingers under the seam between the door and the ground, you hoist up all your might. Limbs trembling and sweat beading your brow, you slowly ease the door off the ground. As the entrance widens, a hidden gear in the stonework marks a resounding click and holds the door open. The opening discharges a breeze of stale air and something else, a feeling which emanates from the yawning darkness that makes your every hair stand on end. Okay, maybe I don't want to be here. I want to be here. Way station. Right. I might have to update.
I can scarcely believe it.
Fires. Don't want to go too far ahead.
Captain?
June 5.
Right between the eyes.
Burn, baby, burn. Yeah, keep pushing on. Yeah, good idea. Monsters of the Deadfire Archipelago. The archipelago winds its way between the Great Eastern Ocean and the Restless Ocean. Hundreds of small islands in the midst of water. Few dare brave its treacherous rapids, and fewer still have returned to tell tale of their adventures through it. Travel between the two oceans is virtually impossible. Great storms hammer any ship foolhardy enough to attempt to navigate, and this alone should be enough to deter anyone from attempting the voyage, as untold ships have gone down, tossed against the rocks. The weather and treacherous rocks are only a precursor to the actual horror of the archipelago, the terrors of the deep. No one knows how many creatures stalk the oceans, waiting for unsuspecting sailors to drift into their waters. But we do know of some. Barbed Ravager.
You pushed her! Merle, she came after me.
Speak freely. Can't get a clean hit.
Actually just destroyed it.
Dead!
Oh, take that, mate.
Just like that.
Yeah, it feels like Yeah, I'm gonna do a safety save here because it feels like I've got to go here first, then come back here. That's what it feels like anyway, because that's
Well, I don't
obviously
see
the
the point.
Archipelago.
Ishi gets it.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Like the ship just goes whoop. See you later.
A ship! I am saved!
Vektor. Thor fans himself with a dish rash. His face is dark and shiny with exertion. Sweat colours wide crescents on his shirt. He looks at you like a drowning man would look at dry land.
Ado, how long I waited for a familiar face in this friendless hovel. Weeks I've been stranded here. The Valiant Trading Company sends no one. Unless...
He squints at you, dabbing his brow feverishly with a corner of the rag. He swallows and aims a hopeful look at Pelagina.
Diverus. The company's concerns are the Duke's concerns, which makes them my concerns. But saving your skin was not in my orders.
Then it is the will of gods and countrymen alike that I remain stranded.
Oh, let's raise the hand to Pelagina. Stranded, this is a settled island.
By whose standard do you call this settled?
Look at it. Got a port. With an anxious swallow, he glances over his shoulder at a sleepy ramshackle village. His gaze darts from one grass-thatched hut to another, as if expecting some unspeakable horror to emerge.
I only tarry here because my shipmates went to Pokokohara to search for Luminous Adra.
Yeah, I know. He brushes an insect off his sleeve.
I worry that Ruano, the local chieftain, gave Captain Bez and my crewmates a false lead.
He knocks a rag of his hands, pulling it taut. No, he certainly didn't.
Or didn't know the way himself and was just trying to impress the outsider.
Maia winks down at the sheep.
Ugh, this is a terrible place.
Frowns at Maia. Go on.
The captain was meant to return. We swim in hostile waters, Huck. Ruano was the last to speak with the captain before she set sail. He squats in the hut northeast of that pitiful market.
He nods towards the gutted hull of a ship.
I would have joined her, but my stomach... something did not agree. Now it is weeks since they should have returned. I'm only the galley cook, not a search party.
He nurses his stomach and winces.
I'd say he's one clove short of a ball.
Cozy for my staring. It is unusual to see one of the locals so outfitted.
He glances up and down at Maia, mostly up.
More unusual than a dwarf with no sense of direction.
Vektor isn't a Valerian name.
Bargroon. My grandparents gave up their nomadic ways when they moved to the Republics. But I see the appeal of staying in one place, one safe place.
He grabs the back of his neck as he glances around. What an odd question.
Bonpiaco. What about?
His white knuckles, the rag, and eases back wearing a furrowed brow. What has you so on edge?
When we landed on Tikawara, the chieftain gave us a welcome feast for the dukes. We feasted, danced, drank, and slept, only so we could feast, dance, and drink more.
A ghost of a smile flits across his face.
Good to know your priorities were in proper order on company time.
Her dark eyelids drop over her golden eyes, glaring at the sweaty door.
Tell it to the captain. It was all her idea.
You were awfully busy for a man claiming to be ill.
Per complancanet. Music and ale are medicine for the soul.
He pats a hand over his heart and gives you a sheepish look.
Even so, they did nothing to soften Anaharu. He said we had come to rob and plunder. He and Nairi turned the villagers against us.
He wipes a fresh rivet of sweat from his temple.
After that, we slept on the boat and took turns watching the shore. Except for me. I had to rest and recover, of course. But in the early hours, our lookouts Ruano and Anaharu disappeared together. No one from the village approached us all day. And by the afternoon, only Ruano returned. Now no one here will even talk of Anaharu. Suspicious, no?
Suspicion gleams on his forehead.
Our captain was eager to leave before the winds changed again.
He mentions Nari.
The priestess? She imagines me in the jaws of our fish goddess. I know it.
He fans himself even more rapidly.
She lurks in the shrine next to that awful statue. I cannot stand her wicked looks, but if she does not scare you, then maybe you talk to her. The captain left all but the essentials with me. I have sustained myself trading with the villagers. Ekosi, but I'm almost out of ale.
If you're a weak spell and shows off his ears.
Quit your chirping. I have no fish for you. Full tides.
The fisherman lowers his head in greeting and wipes his hands on his thorig, which is mottled with fish guts. Doesn't meet your gaze. Why are the Lagrif?
Himuihi and the other Mataru found them when they explored the island.
He looks at the creatures with mingled trepidation and disgust. They bare their teeth in response, flies buzzing around their clouded, gunky eyes, and the dull patches of their scales.
Said maybe we train them to build. And if the soil and sea are misers here, then we eat them.
He shrugs, scratching at his incurved belly.
Captain Stinkfeathers here has choked down his share of Lagofath eggs.
Up at her and waggles his tail feathers. He blinks as your companion impassively glancing towards the sea with a air of mild impatience. You tell about?
The high tide is stingy with fish, and the low tide even more so.
He points down the beach to a lonely rack strung with a few scrawny fish. So can you let them out? The woman stands outside the half-finished building, arms crossed, up in protest of any shelter it might offer. She looks like she's scowling, but the scars on her face make it hard to tell.
An outsider in Tikawara? Who are you, stranger?
Hand strays towards a hide belt clinched tight around her waist. Tom, captain of the junk.
A captain! If you had sailed downwind of the island, you would have moved on, I say. I tell Renga Ruano that the stench of Tikawara will drive away friend and outsider alike. Do you smell it?
Place her nostrils and grimaces.
I speak of the Lagofath. There is no food on this barren island that those monsters do not steal.
Her scars are like seams, tugging her face into a skull.
Always they circle our village looking for weaknesses.
Takes her fingers, making arguments she seems to have made many times before.
I pushed the cage with the young ones farther toward the beach, but I smell them even here.
It's no wonder they come here when the beach smells like a Langvarden hatchery.
Better to keep them under our thumb than sharpening blow darts, I say. A week ago, I tracked the fish to Hoina Ravine, so I challenged the Mataru to a hunting competition. My mother's belt for the brood mother's head.
Grinning, she thumbs the hide belt slung over her across her
It
waist.
is not every day that newcomers land on our beaches. What say you show me how outsiders deal with Lagofath?
A little competition sounds like fun.
Understand they are animals. You must rely on blades, I say, not words.
Okay.
Hunting tales of our ancestors say the brood will scatter when their fish Renga is killed. No need to chase the children if you cut the head from the mother.
She makes a super motion across her neck. Okay. What are you doing with the shipwreck? It seems like looks like a lodge.
The Renga wanted a trading post.
He glowers at the strange building, which appears to be part of scaffolding and part shipwreck.
He said it will bring more Valians like the sweaty dwarf. Then they will bring food and supplies and their sweaty money.
A shiver of disgust ripples across her face. What's wrong with that?
Always I stand here. This is no job for the Mataru. We hunt, fight, and lead.
He paces next to the trading post, relentless energy particularly quivering through her arms and legs. So why aren't you hunting or fighting?
What is there to hunt on this heap of rock and moss? No game, only Lagofath skulking in Hoina Ravine.
Well, you could leave, I mean...
Even the antelope know there is no fit home. The grasses are thin and the trees are like a child's bones. Small and soft. Even to build this, we must hike up the mountain for wood.
She wraps the side of the trading post with her knuckles. Oh.
Am I a Kuaru? Do I dirty my fingers with coins 1,000 hands have touched? Never. Go see the sweaty one, the dwarf. He washes his hands sometimes. You will never meet a more welcoming tribe.
She thrusts her face inches from yours and glares at you, daring to disagree.
See? The villagers brawl for the honor of your visit.
The village starves, and you hide Koiki fruit?
I hide nothing, you bloated pufferfish. Traitor! Gatty's jaws will close around you!
Confess, Tamao, or will you let good food rot?
A young warrior's forehead is furrowed with lines and beaded with perspiration. He stands over a man bound to a pole.
Does mine look like a full belly, idiot? Question the rest of the Raparu. We all hunger.
Every word out of that bound man energizes as an agonized wheeze. He glares at Kuma.
Disgrace. Any other Raparu has worked 10 times in a day what you have in your life, and they do not complain.
The warrior pulls a dagger from his belt and thumbs the tip thoughtfully. Blinking, he turns to you wearing a bright, friendly smile.
Another outsider. You visit Tikawara in hungry times.
He sighs through his
For
nose.
what do you make of this hagfish, huh? Will Tamao confess if I tighten the ropes?
He's done something wrong?
Pekeho caught this wretch stealing the last of the Koiki fruit. The tribe was to feast on it for a harvest ceremony.
I stole no Koiki, but I wish I had. I would have hid it somewhere most unpleasant.
Up your bum, probably. He bares his teeth and a defiant grin.
You hear this? A second chance we give, and Tamao throws it in our faces.
With a blade level with Tamao's heart.
Lied and stolen? Akira. When we have food, he takes more than he deserves. He steals baskets and pots, and even pilfered a spearhead from a warrior on the hunt.
Exasperated, he mops his brow with the back of his hand.
I say there is no person in Tikawara who he has not wronged in some way. Maybe no person in the Deadfire.
What say you, Tamaru?
I say I deserve what others have in plenty. Shade, a full belly, a moment to kneel on cool sands.
He glares up at McNeil.
We stopped being a tribe when Ruanu dragged us into the path of the outsiders. Now we can only save ourselves.
You shame us, Tamao. To return in your next life as a coconut crab would be too kind.
He stomps his foot, kicking up a flurry of dust. Well, what was this Koiki ceremony?
We would have eaten the last of the Koiki as a tribe.
Koiki.
This way we give our thanks to Kahopa, the eel of life. Now this cannot happen. Our harvest fails because this one puts his empty stomach higher than the gods.
Anyone think saving the seeds might be a good idea?
This is not done. To consume the fruit, seeds, and all. This is how we pray to Kahopa for bounty.
Okay then, would it make anything better if I had some spare Koiki fruit on hand.
I say, missing food is not the problem. Tamao betrays the tribe, dishonors the reparo, denies all of us Kahopa's mercy.
He winces as if ashamed to even discuss it.
And he will surely wash back into our nets as a mudfish in the next life if he does not tell us where the Koiki fruit is.
He raises his voice again, just to be certain Tamaro hears it.
I might have an old primer on Raotayan naval punishments lying around. You could give those a try.
You speak like an outlander, but your face is of the tribes.
Frowns at Maia.
Forget I said anything.
Have your guilty man. What's to be done?
Pekeho's word is enough to give Tamao over to the waves.
This is the beach and touches his brow.
Oh, perfectly civilized. Go on.
So they've not got evidence. Maia strokes her chin and nods.
This is our way.
Better to drown as an innocent man than starve with you fools.
Mal spits, but without the forward momentum, he just dribbles on his chin, turns his gaze away, doing his best to ignore him.
Justice does not fill our stomachs or our hearts. It brings the gods no closer to ending this famine. Akira, you would do this? I say, our Ranga will dedicate the feast of the last Koiki to your name. Until the Koiki is found, I will delight in prodding this stubborn eel for answers.
Pushes the point of his dagger, his lips spreading into a broad grin.
You are free to question him and your custom, I say. And Pekeho, he tarries often by the beach.
Okay, I'd like to know more about the village.
He must speak with the Ranga. His lodge is at the top of the hill, past the trading post. Nairi also knows much, but she is quiet ever since.
Eyes go wide as he catches himself. He clears his throat.
Nairi, she tends the shrine in the northwest part of town, near the statue of Ngati. Yes. I am a warrior, like most Mataru. Can you not tell?
Of an asshole, actually. He poses, standing tall and flipping his blade in his hand.
We have little reason to fight on Tikawara, except when the fishermen drink too much of the dwarf man's liquor. But these are only small fights, not like it was on the island we left before, when the pirates, the slave...
Flavors. Expression goes slack for several seconds as widening eyes stare blankly into some remembered horror. After a moment, he snaps back. Maybe they were part of Poko Kahara?
But what did I say? Tikawara does not give in abundance, but there are worse things, Akira.
Feels like it.
You look at me for what? To watch me shrivel up in the sun?
Maybe a trick of the light, but the man's emaciated skull does appear shriveled.
If only my brain and belly had coordinated, I say I would have tried sooner.
He glances longingly towards the hut north of the Rangas.
Pekeho hates me because I insult his puny catches of fish. All he does is weigh down his boat. For this, he accuses me.
So what's your side of the story?
Pekeho says I was skulking by the drying hut north of the Ranga's home. Akira, this is so. I would have taken the Kohiki, but it was already gone.
Can you think of anyone else who might have taken it?
It is said the Ruparu share one empty stomach. Blame any of them, I say.
He grimaces down at his lean frame.
The tribe drives me out like jerky because I am hated, not because I am a Koiki thief. I have seen better days than this.
He grimaces up at you.
I labor for the tribe, but our Ranga saves the best of everything for his warriors. For what does a warrior need with a full stomach when we are not at war?
Al shakes his head, scowls.
Then maybe you ask someone with both feet on the ground.
Technically, it looks like you got both feet on the ground.
I need to conserve my strength.
Need to be dangling, that would be...
Will do.
It says I could take them.
Step back, all of you.
Lord Shode Amura at the centre of the huddle takes a cautious step back. His gaze never breaks from the tribesmen who have him surrounded, but his hands never stray far from his weapon.
You've all got the wrong idea. I'm waiting for a shipment of sailcloth from the homeland. Is that going to be a problem?
His expression turns stony as the implied threat crosses his lips.
Then what say you about this? Coded gibberish, or I'm an Orlin.
Someone from the crowd tosses a sheaf of papers to the ground. By Harama's feet, the assembled tribesmen mutter their assent.
Damn it. He's about 2 seconds away from starting a brawl. I've got to step in.
Okay. I'll follow you, Lord. Place a throat loud enough to turn heads in the direction of your party.
One against a mob isn't exactly even. Ever heard of a fair fight?
Cracks her knuckles and rolls her shoulders.
Ha! Company warships blow our canoes to splinters, and you call us unfair? You foreign imps are all the same.
I turn to you and Maya. Harama gives away no recognition other than a flicker of gratitude. What seems to be the problem?
As surely as sharks circle spilled blood, this one has been casting an unwelcome shadow on our village.
One of the villagers steps forward and gestures to Harama.
We found coded documents in his quarters, and he defended himself with lies. Outsider spy.
Mutters of assent rise in volume from the assembled villagers. What makes you think it's anything nefarious?
Because Rauatai hungers after these isles, like a tiger lurking in the tall grass and whetting its chops.
If you townies are dumb enough to go blundering into an alpha predator, you deserve what's coming to you.
They don't really help each other out in situations, do they? They really don't. It's like all they care about is battle. Maya squares her stance and shakes her head.
Who are you to speak in his defense? And who is your traitor friend who postures like she is not one of us?
Let done good by your people, if you would but remember my face. Whisper spread among the group of the fighters struggle to recall from where they recognise your features. You hear the muted ripple of agreement, smoother than suspicion.
Harama, we will have eyes on you. Cause no trouble.
Leaders of the gang points from his eyes to Harama and then signals to the rest of the party.
I owe you thanks for that, stranger.
Rutan stands at ease and looks you up and down, nodding with approval.
Now here is a welcome sight.
Turns his face to Meyer and a smile brightens his features.
Is that little Ashiza? Hop over here, you old terror.
Harama opens his arms and Meyer's bird darts enthusiastically closer, pecking at Harama's shin.
Ishi town. You don't know where he's been.
Maya arches her brow, smiling in spite of herself. Don't I get an introduction?
Captain, this is Harama. We were shipmates on the Flying Buttress.
He nods to him, their eye contact lingering an extra moment.
That's a word for it. You could also say we were...
lovers.
Loyal servants of the homeland. That's enough out of you.
Maya touches her brow and shakes her head, hiding the hint of a smile.
Afraid this isn't a social visit. This comes from up high.
Passes him a roll of parchment. Oh, that's what I was right, okay. Demeanor hardens a moment. He unseals the missive, warming his tongue over his teeth. Harama lifts up the parchment to view it against the light source.
Atsura's up to his tricks again, I see. Thank you, Maya. I've been waiting for this. Maya, why is he asking?
Wince at you, hesitating to say more.
Captain, later. I promise we can discuss it later. I guess we're done here. It's been, well, sort of like old times. In a good way.
especially seeing you coming and going again. When the dust settles, maybe we could...
Feels off shifting his weight.
I'd like that. Ishii misses you something awful.
Say no more. Good luck in your travels and other adventures. Ishiza, you keep your feathers clean.
She looks Maya and steps back with a wink.
I need to check in with Outtro. Mind if we take a detour to the Brass Citadel?
Reporting on your mission, I take it.
Something like that. Outtro probably wants to make sure I'm not wasting too many resources on his little errand. Nothing to worry about.
Shrugs, gesturing to go off. Alright, I guess I'll have to do that at some point then. So I don't know whether just to do it now or...
You probably have some questions about what we've been doing. We found Harama in quite a state, didn't we? It's no wonder you'd be curious about what's going on. Harama is a sociable type of guy. Getting to know people is as easy to him as breathing is to you or me. Outtro has set him loose so he can get to know as many people as possible.
Yeah, he's a spy?
That's one way you could put it. He's keeping an eye on Tikawara. Who comes and goes, what sorts of things they discuss. Outtro is committed to a more peaceful Deadfire. But he's just one man. He needs good people to shoulder the burden with him.
Harama's just eyes and...
Only Outtro knows for sure. Harama might not even have all the facts. I certainly don't. Maybe. Probably.
Definitely.
Let's just say we're not the first people to deliver Harama a missive that looked like one thing and read like another.
What have we been delivering, Maya?
Truthfully? I don't know. They looked like ordinary documents to me, but I'm sure that's how Outtro wanted it. Outtro has a new code for every hour of the day. He probably has cipher keys tattooed all over his body.
I could do that one, but I don't think that's necessary.
For what it's worth, you're doing a great thing for the Deadfire. You'll see.